Final game of the weekend about to start. It's going to be the Fort Wayne Force against Honeybaked Gold. The Force have been representing Team North America all weekend, and from the beginning slate this morning, from what I can gather, the North American teams have won 3 of the 4 games. But as the day goes on, the points that are carried by the winning teams are more valuable. So currently, I believe Team North America is in the lead against Team USA or Michigan, however you want to cut it. But after our games, there will be 3 remaining. will say these Michigan teams with no mascot are harder to commentate, so Honeybaked and CompuWare, wish they could come up with something a little easier to say. So 13 minutes on the clock for the first period. Starting off on the ice for the Force is going to be Cumberland and Blackburn on defense, with our offensive line of McDonald, Fryer, and Huffman. Opening face-off controlled by Honeybaked. Flip back to the neutral zone. Taken away by Huffman. She dumps in the offensive zone. Honeybaked gathers it. Pressured by McDonald. Across the line to gain. Stopped by Cumberland. As he advances the puck the other direction. Kept in by Honeybaked, picked up by McDonald. McDonald fed over to Fryer. Fryer loses the handle on it. As Honeybaked back the other way on the offensive charge, stopped by Blackburn. Blackburn on a race through center ice. Blackburn across the line to gain, around one player. Blackburn, shot, score! Blackburn with the opening goal! Yeah, good thing I didn't lose my cool there. First goal for Blackburn of the year. Honeybaked gathers it up, charges towards the net, stop the advancement there is Warner. Challenged in the corner by Llewellyn around behind the net. Feeding it up high towards the blue line, shot from deep, blocked in front by Westhoff, picked up by Warner in the corner. Honeybaked has it stripped by Sutherland. And fed around behind the net for Llewellyn. Out to Kiefer, kept in by Honeybaked. Fed around the net. Challenged by Westhoff. As he advances the puck up, he's pinched off on the boards and stumped back in down low for Llewellyn. Westhoff into center ice. Feeds it over to Kiefer. Onto the stick of Sutherland. Fed down low and taken away by Honeybaked as they advance up the ice through the neutral zone. Down low, Hagen's going to be the first one there for the Force as Honeybaked gathers it. Hagen takes it away and is on his horse the other way. He's got Kiefer with Fraze on the offensive zone, feeds it over to Kiefer just out of the reach of his outstretched stick. Kiefer picks it up and tries to feed it back to Hagen. Hagen feeds it to the slot, nobody home, taken away by Honeybaked. Fed cross ice, picked up by Honeybaked. Poke checked away by Quas, picked up by Hagen. He's got Fraze to his left with Potts on his right. Comes off his stick on the sideboards, gathered up by Hagen. He feeds it to Fraze, score! The connection of Hagen to Fraze working again. Force up 2. Puck comes back for the Force as Fraze picks it up off the face-off, chips it ahead to Hagen as he touches it in the offensive zone. Honeybaked back the other way into the skates of Fraze over to Kelly. Kelly up to Hagen. with Potts in front, and now Fraze to his left once again. Hagen makes a move towards the net, shoots one, gets defended well, and flips over to the corner. Loose puck going to be gathered by Potts. Potts knocks it back the other way, touches up to Hagen. His advancement is stopped, but onto the stick of Fraze. We got a little bit of confusion here on the line change. Puck comes back for Llewellyn. Llewellyn through center ice now. Llewellyn swings wide, is put in the corner. Taken away by Honeybaked, challenged by McDonald behind the net. As Honeybaked advances it down the ice. Blackburn and Llewellyn back on defense. Cuts towards the middle, tries to stuff it in. Sturdy skate of Quas keeps it pinched off. Blackburn advances down the ice. Hits it over towards center ice, has it taken away. To center ice for Honeybaked. Getting back on defense and back checking here is Huffman with Llewellyn in position. Stick to the side by Quas. Llewellyn picks it up behind the net. Through center ice. Picked up by Fryer. Onto the stick of Sutherland, taken away by Honeybaked. Warner getting back on defense as Sutherland challenges him all the way down to the corner. Fed towards the slot, knocked away by Warner. Kept in at the blue line by Honeybaked. Fed down low, Llewellyn tipped it as Quas poke checks it. Out of danger, flipped all the way down the ice. It's going to go for icing. Puck one, off the face-off by Honeybaked. Stuff shot attempt there by Kiefer. Fed off the glass and up to Kiefer from Warner. Puck gathered up on the defensive end for Honeybaked. They touch it into the offensive zone here with Cumberland and Warner on defense. Sutherland flips it up, controlled by Honeybaked now. Back deep into the defensive end for Fort Wayne. Touched up by Warner to Kiefer. Landing Kiefer into the neutral zone. Poke checked away by Warner. Onto the stick of Sutherland for a moment. It's going to be offsides.
Hey! Stronger!
Face off, controlled and taken by Hagen. Swinging wide right around another player. Shot from deep. Score! Hagen right up over the glove of Honeybaked's goaltender in the top right corner for the third goal. Face-off controlled by Honeybaked through center ice. Challenge there by Potts. Picked up by Blackburn, touched into the neutral zone. Honeybaked gathers, feeds it ahead, onto the stick of Blackburn, touch passed up to Fraze. Fraze enters the offensive zone for Fort Wayne. I think we had an offsides.
Hey, Isaac, quiet. Yes, it did.
I didn't see what happened in the corner there, but Fraze comes off the ice, wincing in pain, so we're going to keep an eye on him for you while he's on the bench. Honeybaked flips it out to the blue line. Taken away by Fryer. Fryer up ahead with McDonald. stripped by Honeybaked. Fraze is off the bench now, up at the board, so I think just minor discomfort coming off the ice. Fryer now dumps in the offensive zone for Fort Wayne. Lead skater is going to be McDonald with Huffman to his left. Honeybaked feeds center, stolen away by Fryer. Fryer making a move to the right, tries to get a pass or shot attempt there, couldn't get anything on it. Fed up high, kept in by Cumberland. Dumps it down low, almost connects with McDonald as the puck goes around behind the net, collected by Honeybaked. Taken away by Fryer, dumped it down back in the offensive zone, but the defender from Honeybaked took it back the other way. Llewellyn now with the puck, feeds it ahead to Huffman. She enters the offensive zone. Honeybaked back the other way. Warner and Llewellyn back on defense. The swing wide towards the net, lost a handle on it. Overskate it, now onto the stick of Kiefer. Kiefer back the other way with Huffman. Tries to feed it over to her, but the pass doesn't get through. Taken away by Honeybaked. Back on defense now is going to be Blackburn and Warner. As they cross pass it, shot. Knocked down, couldn't control the rebound there was Quas, but put it out of danger. Picked up by Blackburn. Fed ahead to Kiefer. Skips over his stick and goes all the way down the ice for icing. Face-off, controlled by Honeybaked. Shot from deep. Pad saved there by Quas. Comes out. Kiefer chips it right around him and takes it on a break the other way with Westhoff. Pass doesn't connect. Skips into the offensive zone for Fort Wayne. Gathered by Westhoff in the corner. Westhoff now backhands it up to the blue line. Warner rips one towards the net. Score! Colton Warner with another rifle from the blue line. Puts him up 4-0. And what a weekend Warner has had.
Hey, Westy, good look, kid. Great look. Hey, nice hammer. Oliver, great comeback, kid.
Face off. Picked up by Honeybaked in the neutral zone. Defended by Cumberland. Around behind the net goes Honeybaked. Feed it into center ice there. Couldn't control that pass attempt though, so couldn't get a shot off. Comes through the net. Pad kicked away by Quas. Picked up by Hagen. Hagen's got Potts to his right. Cuts through into the offensive zone for Fort Wayne. Feeds the slot. Nobody home. Cross ice to Fraze. Fraze back. Hands it out, picked up by Honeybaked. Taken away by Hagen as he cuts towards the net. Shoots one. Pad saved away there by Honeybaked. I think they have a new goaltender in. So I remember the pass being Brown before. Shot off the side of the net by Honeybaked. Stick lift there by Cumberland as he ties him up in the corner as Hagen comes in to help. Gathered up by Honeybaked. Around behind the net. Defending there is Kelly. Now Fraze puts the pressure on. Puck back around behind the net. Honeybaked gathers on their offensive end. Cut towards center ice. Into a whole bunch of Fort Wayne players. Shot from deep. Blocked in front by Hagen. Picks up the loose puck and sends it all the way down the ice. No icing as it didn't reach the other end. 2:45 left in the first. Force up 4-0. I don't think I added that to the... There we go. Now it's 4-0. Puck out to the neutral zone. Gathered by Honeybaked with some speed. Pass connects there. Defended by Blackburn as the puck trickles around behind the net. Feeds the slot right out in front. Into the skates of Kiefer. Another shot, score. That was actually in the skates of Llewellyn, and tied up there with no vision on the puck was Quas. So he didn't see the shot even come through.
Hey, no momentum. Right back.
Honeybaked clawed back to down 3 with 2:21 remaining in the first. Face off, gathered up by Honeybaked. Knocked around, nobody has possession yet. Honeybaked gathers it, defended by Blackburn. Fed around behind the net. Llewellyn going to be the first one there for Fort Wayne. Fed up the boards, touched ahead by Huffman. Honeybaked gathers in their own end. Gathered by Blackburn, feeds it, cross ice. Huffman leading the way for Fort Wayne. Back on defense, Llewellyn and Warner. Round them, takes a shot, goes off the side of the net. Flipped around by Warner. Warner comes in, take away, comes off his skates. And Huffman on her horse. It's going to be a 3-on-1 the other way with McDonald and Fryer. Fryer now with the puck, loses a handle on it. Honeybaked picks up the loose puck. Brings it back into the neutral zone, taken away by Warner, fed ahead by Huffman. Honeybaked gathers on their end. Down the ice it goes. Kelly going to be the first one there for Fort Wayne. Stops the advancement of Honeybaked out to the blue line. Back down low for Honeybaked. Pressured and taken away by Westhoff. And now tied up on the boards. Back down low. Around behind the net comes Honeybaked. Taken away by McDonald. As he rips it off the glass up to Kiefer. Kiefer now cross ice. So we get a change here for Fort Wayne defensively. Warner off and Cumberland on. Deep into Honeybaked territory. They pick it up behind their own net. Back on defense is going to be Cumberland and Blackburn. Flipped up in the air, gloved down by Quas, cleared out by Blackburn to Sutherland. Isaac advances the puck down the ice through the neutral zone. We had offsides there on Kiefer as he tried to stop and hold up at the blue line and caught net. We might have had a couple there offsides as Westhoff was ahead of the play too. I think he thought the pass came up to Kiefer. Either way, offsides, face off in the neutral zone. Controlled by Honeybaked. Blackburn back on defense. They beat him. Head towards the net. Shot. Save Quas as the period expires.
He can't do him swing at him. Okay, and I got a penalty on that too. Hey, BJ. Look at his back. You didn't get that on the.
All right, we're back. Took a little break there as they make adjustments to Quas's helmet. Force up 4-1 after 1. On the ice to begin the second period is going to be Hagen, Fraze, Potts, Llewellyn, and Warner. Face off. Loose and flipped to center ice by Warner, picked up by Honeybaked in their offensive zone. Swing wide, defended by Hagen. Strip of the puck, shot. I think there was a save there by Quas. The other ends was a little difficult for me to see, but that came out nonetheless. Down for Honeybaked on their end of the ice, pressured by Potts. Potts stops their advance. They break out the other way, and through center ice is Honeybaked, defended by Llewellyn. Back in position is Warner with Fraze back checking. Strip the puck and on to Fraze, lose the handle of it, fed to the slot. Gathered up in the skates of Fraze. Fraze loses it out in front as Honeybaked touches it back the other way. It's going to go for offsides. Face-off comes back and gathered up by Honeybaked on their end of the ice. Kept in by Blackburn. Fed back down into the corner, around behind the net. Max McDonald getting there first. Sends it to the slot, cleared out by Honeybaked. Back up high. Retreating is Blackburn with Kelly back on defense. Kelly flips it back up into the neutral zone, picked up by Huffman. She loses a handle on that pass attempt though, still fighting for it. Honeybaked comes away with it. Now stripped away by Fort Wayne and back to Honeybaked through center ice. Kelly there on defense. Shot from wide, save Quas. Rebound goes to the corner. Honeybaked around behind the net. Reversing, taken away by Kelly. Puck comes out, pressured by Huffman. Swinging wide is Honeybaked, comes off an edge there, shot from deep, saved by Quas. Round behind the net on a wraparound.
Yes, sir!
Score.
Come on! Let's go! Here we go! Come on, baby. Let's go, Honeybaked.
11:07 remains in the second. Now the lead is cut to 2. Fort Wayne wins that faceoff. Sutherland with it, loses a handle on it. Honeybaked back the other way, pressured by Huffman, or that's Westhoff. Now Kiefer through the neutral zone by himself, feeds it down low. Westhoff there for the force, joined by Sutherland, but Honeybaked comes away with it. Feeds it to center ice. Back on defense is Llewellyn with Warner. Poked away by Warner onto the stick of Westhoff. Westhoff gathers it in the neutral zone. Makes a swing wide there. Has Kiefer, shoots it from deep. Off the post. Into the neutral zone for Warner. Goes around a defender there, gathers it. Enters the offensive zone and dumps it down low. Kiefer challenging for Fort Wayne. Westhoff now to take it away. Puck comes out for Sutherland and up to Llewellyn as he keeps, I guess it came across the blue line. Be offsides. Face-off controlled by Honeybaked. Flip it into the neutral zone. Challenged and taken away by Fraze for the moment. Back and forth the puck goes, entered by Fort Wayne. Fraze into his skates as he's battling hard for the puck. Gathers it up, takes away from both players there. Looking, feeds it, shot. Save there by Honeybaked. Back to Fraze. Fraze tried to feed the slot, couldn't get anything on that pass attempt. Now taken away by Hagen. Hagen gets taken off his skates. No call. Honeybaked back the other way with Blackburn and Cumberland back on defense. Feed towards the center is intercepted by Cumberland as he dumps the puck back to center ice. They gather and enter back in. Head towards the center there, lose a handle on it as Cumberland forces them to the corner. Dumped back down low. Hagen picks up the loose puck. He's going to reverse, find some open space, gets pinched off, sends the puck all the way down the ice. It's going to be waved off. Fraze leading the way for Fort Wayne. Cumberland back the other way. Feed across ice to open ice. Picked up by Cumberland. He's rode into the boards, has it stripped away, but it makes its way to Hagen. Hagen winds into the offensive zone for Fort Wayne. Hagen backhands one towards the net, kicked to the side by Honeybaked. Fraze now with the puck. He's got Potts there in the slot. Takes it all the way into the neutral zone. Is challenged by a couple players there. Tries to feed it back. Gains some open ice. Fraze still with the puck. Dumps it in low. Hagen battling to get loose of a Honeybaked player as they advance down the ice. Kelly and Llewellyn back on defense. Puck comes to Llewellyn. Moves to the side, dumps it off the boards and down the ice. Hagen going to be on his horse after it, but off the bench. Honeybaked gathers it on their own end. 8 minutes remaining in the second. Force up 2. Huffman feeds it back the other way for the moment. Stolen away by Fryer. Fryer now with it on his stick. Loses a handle on it. Honeybaked takes it away. Back on defense is going to be Kelly. She feeds it ahead. Honeybaked intercepts that pass. Enters the offensive zone. Shoots from deep. Kick to the side by Quas. Fryer there for the force. Tries to feed it ahead. Stolen away by Honeybaked. Shot from deep. Save Quas. He covers. Face-off controlled back by Honeybaked up high. Feed it into the corner. Comes out front, cleared. Kept in by Honeybaked. Back down low, feeds the slot. Challenged by Cumberland, out to Huffman. Has it taken away. Right at the net, shot gloved by Quas. As he covers. Face-off won by Honeybaked as they keep possession of it down low, stripped away by Cumberland. Advancing down the ice is the force. McDonald coming hot after it to challenge it. Pass connects as Honeybaked breaks out the other way. Warner back on defense. They swing wide, take a shot. Pad save by Quas, and he covers once again. 6:49 remaining in the second. Face-off controlled back by Honeybaked. Shot from the blue line. Makes its way through, but kicked to the side before it got to Quas. Gathered back up by Honeybaked into the corner for Llewellyn. Comes to center ice. Westhoff touches it into the neutral zone. Kiefer challenging as the puck comes down for Blackburn. Blackburn can't feed it up and out. It's in the jersey of the Honeybaked player and will be blown dead. Face-off being kicked around, thrown to the side by Sutherland. It's coming up for Westhoff. Westhoff leading the charge for Fort Wayne towards the net. Loses a handle on it last second to the corner. Feeds the slot. His pass is blocked before it could reach its destination. Honeybaked around behind their net. Kiefer now with it. Feeds it back down low. Westhoff there for the force. Lifts a stick. Pinches them off on the boards. Joining is Sutherland. Sutherland gathers it. Has it stripped away, but maintains possession as he flips it back. Honeybaked now into the neutral zone. Back on defense is going to be Llewellyn and Blackburn as Sutherland battles for the puck in the corner. From up high, shot attempt goes wide. Honeybaked gathers, swinging wide out to the blue line, round the horn. All the way around. Flips it back and dumped in deep. Taken away by Fort Wayne. That's Blackburn with the puck. Feeds it in the neutral zone. Honeybaked comes off their skates. That's Kiefer up ahead. Played with a high stick, I think is what that call was. So 5:09 remains in the second. Force up 4-2. Face off, laid out, stick to the side by Quas. Pressured down low by Kelly, and Hagen joins in as he's tied up, taken down. Pile of people. Out on the stick of Fraze, covered up by Quas. Face-off controlled by Fort Wayne. Fraze rips it around the boards, kept in by Honeybaked. Challenged by Fraze and Hagen into the corner. Fraze going to come away with it for the moment as he's tied up now. Back for Kelly. Kelly around the boards in some open ice here. He's got Potts and Fraze up ahead. Honeybaked takes it away in the neutral zone. Feeds it cross ice. And they break into the offensive zone. Swinging wide, taken away by Cumberland. Cumberland feeds it up ahead to Potts. Potts touch passes it. Back the other way by Honeybaked into the stick of Cumberland as he's tied up on the boards. Stripped by Hagen. Hagen's got Fraze. Hagen swings wide with bursts of speed. He's got Fraze. Connects with him. Shot. Score! Hagen to Fraze once again. Honeybaked onto the stick of Warner, feeds it to center ice for McDonald. McDonald entering, got Huffman there. Tries to pass it, lose the handle on it. His pass attempt now is kicked to the corner. Huffman there to pinch it off. Picked up by Honeybaked and racing down the ice the other way. Challenged there by McDonald. Llewellyn back on defense along with Warner as the puck trickles to the corner. Whoa, and then Warner and a Honeybaked player collide. Shot from deep in the blue line. It goes wide of the net. Out front, stuff attempt, blocked and stopped by Quas, flipped to the side by Llewellyn. Kept in by Honeybaked. Down low for Llewellyn. So he feeds it up the boards, and that's going to be Max McDonald to pick up the loose puck. Max McDonald loses the handle on it. Back to Fryer. And Honeybaked gathers it in the neutral zone. Taken away by the back-checking Max McDonald. Whoa, he's taken out into the boards aggressively. Upcoming penalty on Honeybaked at 2:37 remaining in the second is going to be what I would consider a boarding or charging aggressively into Max McDonald right in front of the penalty box. We're going to keep an eye on Max McDonald for you on the bench. As the Force will go to a power play at 2:37. Power play unit for the Force is going to be Westhoff, Sutherland, Kiefer, with Warner and Llewellyn. Face off out to Llewellyn. Tries to get a shot off. Doesn't get much on it. Honeybaked back the other way. Short-handed. Now we got a penalty coming up. I believe that's going to be on Llewellyn to negate the power play. With a trip from Llewellyn, he'll put it on 4-on-4 with 2:25 remaining in the second.
Oliver! 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 Oliver!
Face-off is at a stalemate. Honeybaked comes away with it into the skates of Warner. It's pinched off on the boards. Defended there now by Sutherland. Honeybaked picks it up. Gathers it. Feeds it up to the point. Shot from deep. Not on target. Behind the net. Sutherland feeds it ahead. Honeybaked strips him of the puck. Heads towards the net. Blackburn on defense there. Challenging. Down low. Lifts the stick. Fighting for the puck in the corner, joined with Sutherland. Comes away with it. It's Blackburn for a moment. As he's still fighting for it, and flips it into the neutral zone. Honeybaked gathers on their end. We're at a minute and a half remaining in the period. Behind the net for Blackburn. He feeds it all the way down the ice. He'll go for icing. 1:20 remaining in the period. 13 seconds on the Honeybaked penalty. 25 seconds on the Llewellyn penalty. Face off on the Force end, gathered by Honeybaked, comes out to the middle now, picked up by Cumberland. Cumberland racing ahead, dumps it down the ice. Picked up by Honeybaked. Taken away by Hagen. Hagen winds with some speed into a trio of Honeybaked players, and now to center ice for Cumberland. Cumberland throws a shot towards the net, stick to the side by the goaltender. Fed up the ice, it's going to go all the way down for icing. So we're under a minute. Both penalties expire. Back to 5-on-5 hockey. Force up 3 with less than a minute to go in the second period. Honeybaked racing the other way, defended well there and kicked to the side by Hagen. Takes a stick and Honeybaked comes away with it. Looking for open ice, challenged by Hagen with Kelly there as well as Fraze joins the mix. Puck comes out center ice, open ice shot, score. So at 17 seconds left in the second, Honeybaked brings it back within 2. Face off, left in the neutral zone, overskated by Honeybaked, but had another player to come back and pick it up. Challenged by Sutherland. As the puck's kept in by Huffman. Period expires, 5-3 Fort Wayne.
Man, you're a good announcer. Yeah, very good. You got a good voice, man. You can...
And Max McDonald back on the ice here to start the third period. So good to see him back out there. He'll be joined with Fryer and Huffman, Warner and Blackburn. Face-off win by the Force back to Blackburn. He feeds it ahead. Honeybaked stops his pass attempt and comes back in the offensive zone. Feed it to the slot, gather it. The shot attempt goes wide, gathered by Blackburn now, around behind the net. Feeds it around to McDonald. McDonald chips it up into the neutral zone. Honeybaked gathers, challenged by Fryer. Pass taken away by Huffman. Huffman into the offensive zone for Fort Wayne. Into her skates. Dumped down low. Huffman with it now, feeds the slot. On the doorstep, cleared out by Honeybaked to Warner. Warner up high, puts it back down low into the corner. Blocked pass attempt there by Huffman, kept down under the net by the Force. Out front. Cleared by Honeybaked. Advancing up ahead, Blackburn back on defense with Warner. As Blackburn feeds him to the corner, they cut towards center here. Shot, score. Right off the crossbar, early in the third. Honeybaked brings it within one. Haven't updated the period in a minute, so now we're in the third period. So 12 minutes left of play. Force with a 1-goal lead. Yeah, face off into the skates, gathered now by Sutherland into the offensive zone for Fort Wayne. He has it stripped away. Honeybaked back through the neutral zone. Kelly and Llewellyn back on defense. Swinging wide, cutting towards the net once again. Shot high up over the net. Advanced down the ice by Sutherland. Icing's waved off. Challenged now by Westhoff. Honeybaked gathers it. Stopped advancement by Llewellyn as he feeds it back in the offensive zone for Fort Wayne. Honeybaked with a break out the other way. Gathered by Kiefer. Onto the stick of Sutherland as he cuts through the neutral zone. Shoots one from deep. Not on target. Westhoff there for the Force. Fed out by Honeybaked. Warner and Kelly back on defense for Fort Wayne. Fed down in the corner by Honeybaked. Stopped advancement there is Llewellyn as the puck comes out. And back around behind the net by Honeybaked. Llewellyn to challenge and defend as they cut all the way through center ice here. Swinging in circles, a shot from deep. Blockered up over the net by Quas. Kiefer now to try to get it for the Force. He's challenged by a few Honeybaked players as the puck comes from deep and sent down low by Honeybaked. Around the boards once again, kept in. Back down for Kelly. Kelly now to try to backhand it out. Her attempt is blocked. A couple of players join as the puck comes out, kept in by Honeybaked. Cutting towards center ice, taken away by Kiefer. Kiefer's got Westhoff. Across the line to gain. Kiefer reverses, feeds the slot. It's going to come onto the stick of Hagen. Hagen with speed off the bench. Hagen wraps around behind the net. Looking to make something happen here is Hagen. Moves in, shot, blocked. Secondary rebound attempt. Goes around behind the net. Kiefer and Fraze had opportunities there. Pass attempt stolen away by Honeybaked. Blackburn trying to get back on defense. Back checking here, challenged. Score. Honeybaked ties it up. So we're at 5-5 with 9:30 remaining in this one. Face-off controlled by Honeybaked as the momentum swings in their direction. Picked up by the force, that's on the Fraze's stick. Challenged by Blackburn as they gather back the other way. They're gonna have another breakaway here towards the net of Quas. Shot, kept out, diving tip away by Blackburn, and Quas covers. Face-off controlled by Honeybaked. They flip it down the ice the wrong way. So they're going to gather on their defensive end, challenged by Potts. Potts pinches them off on the boards. Has a couple players tied up there. Joining the fray is Fraze. Puck comes out for Hagen. He shoots one. Kick to the side by Honeybaked's goaltender. Fraze now with the puck. Trying to find somebody to pass it to here once again. Cross ice for Cumberland. Shoots one from up high. Touched. Goes wide. Gathered by Fraze in the corner again. Some sustained pressure here for Fort Wayne. Now down the ice comes Honeybaked. Challenged by Warner and Fraze. Hagen and Fraze. Hagen picks up the puck. Swings wide. Feeds it out to Kelly. Kelly is challenged. They dump it down low for Fraze. Fraze now with it. Shoots. Blockered away by Honeybaked. Stolen away by Hagen. Back to the blue line. Kept in by Cumberland. Feeds it up to Hagen. Hagen loses a handle on it. Taken away by Honeybaked. Flipped into the neutral zone. Gathered by Fraze. Fraze turns and fires into some open ice there. Honeybaked back the other way. Onto the stick of Cumberland. Cumberland up to Hagen. Hops his stick. Still has an opportunity to get after it here. As Fraze and Hagen are fighting for it. Comes off to Fraze. Fraze with a shot. Doesn't connect. Around the boards it comes. Taken away by Honeybaked. They got a 2-on-1 the other way with Hagen trailing out wide. Feed it cross ice. Connect. Couldn't handle the pass though. Oh my God. Pass through the crease. Goes off of Warner's skate and into the goal. So after a commanding lead in the first and second, the Force are now down a goal with half a period remaining in the third. Honeybaked controlling in the offensive zone. Shoot one. Glove to the side by Quas. Kept in by Honeybaked. Fed down low into the skates of Llewellyn, and he picks up the loose puck. Can't feed it out. Honeybaked gains possession of the puck. Backhand. Save Quas. Rebound. Cleared. Honeybaked up high. Challenged by Fryer. Now down low for Warner. Warner rips it off the glass. Not cleared out. Touched up by McDonald. McDonald tries to feed it out. Kept in by Honeybaked. Back into the corner. This is going to be Llewellyn there for Fort Wayne as he rips it around the boards. Honeybaked to grab the puck. McDonald finally flips it into the neutral zone. Max McDonald swipes it away. Huffman throws it up. McDonald getting hot after it.
Colton, knock
McDonald, the sticks flying in the air. The 4 Honeybaked players as they come away with the puck and break out the other way. Entering is Honeybaked, challenged by Warner. On goal, and they score. Timeout called by Fort Wayne. Face-off winning, controlled by Fort Wayne. Back to Kelly, up to Westhoff. Westhoff joined by Sutherland. Sutherland dumps it in the offensive zone. Back to the neutral zone for Kelly. Kelly feeds it ahead to Westhoff. Westhoff over to Kiefer, taken away by Honeybaked. Back on defense is Kelly and Blackburn. Fed to the slot. Couldn't get a shot attempt off there. Swiped away by Blackburn. Another shot attempt. Blocked in front on the doorstep. It goes in between Kloss's legs for another goal. Force win the face-off. Back to Cumberland. Fans on a pass attempt taken away by Honeybaked. Fights back for the puck. Can't clear it out. Defended there by Hagen. Hagen fighting for a loose puck there. Now Fraze joining. Comes out front. Kick to the side by Cumberland. Comes to a Honeybaked player and he backhands one in the net. Face-off controlled by the Force onto the stick of Fraze. Back to Hagen. Hagen reverses. Pinched off by a couple of players there. From Honeybaked. Back on defense is going to be Cumberland. Warner also there for Fort Wayne. Warner takes out the Honeybaked player. As Warner will go to the penalty box. 9-5. 4-goal deficit for Fort Wayne. Now to the penalty kill. Penalty killers for Fort Wayne are going to be Fryer and McDonald with Llewellyn and Blackburn. Up high for Honeybaked. Around behind the net, going to be gathered by Llewellyn. He feeds it around the boards. Kept in by Honeybaked. Challenge there by McDonald. Lose it over to Llewellyn. He's pressured down low. Out to the blue line. Fed back down low. Honeybaked towards the net in the center. Challenged by Fryer. Shot comes out. Blocked by Blackburn. Picked up by McDonald. Cleared back to McDonald by Blackburn. And Fryer comes away with it. Racing the other way. Short-handed. Fryer with McDonald. Fryer towards the net. Feeds the crease off the goaltender. Frozen up. 44 seconds left on the Warner penalty. 3:52 in the game. Face-off picked up by Honeybaked. Racing ahead, around Kelly. Cumberland there to stop the advancement. Shot blocked by Cumberland. Frozen by Quas, 3:37.
Can't post back. He's over here. You're going to go back to that side for front. Win it, draw.
Face-off picked up by Honeybaked. Out into empty ice here. They gather it. Feed it out to the blue line. Dumped back into the corner. Cumberland there for Fort Wayne. Touched ahead by Sutherland. Taken away by Honeybaked. Down the ice. Huffman going to be the lead skater for Fort Wayne. Back the other way for Honeybaked. Picked up by Sutherland. Stripped by Honeybaked. Cumberland and Kelly back on defense. Shot from, oh no, he faked the shot. Another shot there. Saved by Quas. Cleared out by Kelly. Round behind the net. Gathered by Cumberland. He has it stripped away right out front for Cumberland. Stick there by Westhoff and save by Quas. Penalty has expired on Warner. Back to full strength hockey. Puck comes out for Hagen. Hagen and Fraze. The other way for Fort Wayne. Hagen through center ice here. Hagen towards the net. Shoots. Has a stick stuck in the goaltender from Honeybaked. Kept in there by Blackburn on the stick of Hagen for the moment. Now Potts fighting for it along with Fraze. Hagen comes away with it, feeds the slot, nobody home. Cleared out by Honeybaked. Blackburn up high, fires one towards the net. Kicks around behind, gathered up by Hagen. Hagen now feeds it over to Potts. Potts tries to force one towards the net. It goes wide. Now Honeybaked back the other way with Llewellyn and Blackburn back on defense. Cross ice pass, doesn't connect. Blackburn racing for the puck. Feeds it up to Potts, touched into the neutral zone, taken away by Honeybaked, stripped by Hagen as he rides him into the boards. Entering now is Honeybaked, back the other way, defended by Blackburn. Shot, glove save there by Quas. Face-off goes into the corner, battling for its Fryer. Honeybaked picks it up, shoots, glove save, Quas. Face-off picked up by Honeybaked, shoot one towards the net, pad. Save off the side by Quas. Up to McDonald. Another shot on net. Patted away by Quas once again. Down low, Cumberland joins in. Honeybaked. Shot blocked by Warner out front. Puck goes off the side of the net. Warner defeated around the boards to Fryer. Fryer puts it into the neutral zone. We're under a minute to play here. Force 5, Honeybaked 9. Puck stolen away by Warner. Warner racing ahead with Huffman. Warner through center ice. Has it stripped away. Honeybaked picked up loose puck. Take a shot from deep. Saved by Quas as he covers. We're at 35 seconds remaining. Face off, tied up along the boards, fed out by Honeybaked. Shot is blocked by Sutherland. Down for Llewellyn. Flipped up to Westoff. Coming in as Honeybaked players to jar it loose. Kick to the side by Llewellyn on that shot attempt, picked up by Kiefer. Kiefer dumps it on the ice. Sutherland almost got to it. Puck comes out for Sutherland. Feeds it across to Llewellyn. Llewellyn now advancing down the ice. As that'll be it for this game. Force fall 9-5 against Honeybaked. So that'll be it for the Nations Cup. We'll see you back for the next live next weekend.